Hello, my name is Visor, and welcome to episode 16 of Let's Play The Witcher 2. Last episode, we started chapter 2, met King Henselt, and saved him from a bunch of wraiths. Though even though I say saved, it was really mostly death mold. Anyway, this episode, we're gonna go meet him, as well as meet a few other people around the camp. First up is an old familiar face, though. The Nilfgaardian ambassador.
Nearly everyone hunts you, yet you live in spite of that. Impressive.
I find it hard to wean myself off life.
As do we all. However, in all my career as an ambassador of His Imperial Majesty, I have never met anyone quite as talented at surviving as you. I took the liberty of checking some rumors about you. I say it again. Impressive. Are you seeking employment? I was unaware you fellows hired yourselves out for battle.
My aim here is different.
Really? Perhaps I can be of assistance.
Just in case you totally forgot who this guy was, in the prologue, he was the Nilfgaardian walking next to Foltest on the battlefield. They were next to the trebuchets and they were talking about a ballista at the time. Anyway, let's see what he's doing here.
What's the Emperor's envoy doing here? Satisfy my curiosity.
The last unfortunate conflict left the northern kingdoms in pitiful economic condition. His Imperial Majesty desires stability. We wish to offer financial assistance, so I'm visiting those lands hardest hit by the war.
Henselt is coping admirably as far as I can see.
The details of my visit here are reserved for the Emperor and the Kaedweni king.
So, yeah, about that war he's talking about, I'm pretty sure it was the War of the Northlands against the Nilfgaardians. So, yeah, they're coming here to offer financial assistance about a war that they started? That's kind of super shady and weird, isn't it? Anyway, so we could use the Axis symbol, but it would fail, so we would actually end up getting less information than if we just use some persuasion. So let's go with that.
You sure they're that big a secret? I mean, they could be important to me.
I can reveal one thing. The Emperor was very moved to hear the White Wolf had returned. He asked me to investigate the matter personally and submit a report.
Why do I interest him?
He didn't say. His Imperial Majesty keeps his motivations to himself.
Let's ask about Foltest next.
Foltest was a good king. Shame he ended that way.
I've already conveyed the Emperor's condolences to Constable Matthias. Since we're talking about Temeria and Foltest, apparently the fallen king's advisor, the sorceress Triss Merigold, has disappeared in mysterious circumstances. Rumors abound. Do you know anything about her?
Why do you ask, Excellency?
I heard the two of you are close.
Now, this isn't a big secret, but probably shouldn't reveal more than we need to.
Mages have a natural tendency to disappear into thin air once in a while. Why is anyone concerned?
Maybe they wonder if witches locked in dungeons possess the same capacity. You're avoiding the subject, which means it's uncomfortable for you. Have it your way, I shan't press. But I'll ask one more question, if I may.
Of course, Your Excellency.
I mentioned Triss because, I must admit, I am perturbed. Mages are known for their mutual envy and rivalry. I wonder if there's any matter that could unite them.
Perhaps you could be a bit clearer, Excellency.
Then I shall ask directly. Do you know anything about Merigold's involvement with an organization of sorceresses? Assuming, of course, that you are, theoretically, or have been, close.
Yeah, I mean, we've been close, but, again, less info.
Maybe she's involved, maybe she's not. Triss has her friends and I have mine.
Undoubtedly. Wandering poets, dwarves with terrorist contacts, and special forces agents.
It's certainly true you diplomats are experts at gathering information.
How else would we negotiate effectively? Learning all there is to learn about other countries is a necessity. Nevertheless, I thank you for your information. Is there anything else?
Why are you so interested in this organization of sorceresses?
I wonder about some strange coincidences. I'm told several of them were seen in the vicinity when the assassination attempts occurred.
What's so suspicious about that? Mages have always thronged around monarchs, the source of power and coin.
I'm not accusing anyone. I merely said it makes me wonder.
Okay. So let's ask him where he's going next.
I saw you with Foltest before. Now you're with Henselt. No doubt you'll visit the King of Redania next.
I need not go far. Radovid is en route to Lochmuin. Perhaps he has already arrived. We'll meet there.
Lochmuin? An ancient elven city quite a ways away, near the source of the Pontar. Why there?
The mages wish to re-establish their council. They sent out invitations to all the kings.
Okay. So we've learned a little bit about him, his motivations, but we need to get on our way. Let's go meet King Henselt. But first, we can also take a peek around his room. As you can see, there's stuff around that you can loot. Later on, we'll loot the shit out of this place, but for now, let's talk to King Henselt.
Come in, Witcher. I wish you to feel at ease, as this is an unofficial audience. You helped me in the mist, thus I surmise you do not seek my death. Which leads me to ask what you do seek here, Geralt of Rivia.
Now, both choices are pretty good, but let's go for the more dramatic one.
Justice.
A slippery thing, I'd say. It really depends on your point of view. So, you claim you did not kill Foltest. Do you know who did?
I mean, we could try lying about it, but remember Sheila was with you last chapter, and she was working with Commandant Laredo, so she does know about Lethos.
A witcher named Letho.
Do you know each other?
Once again, the more honest answer is I don't know, which can of course be confirmed by Sheila.
I don't know. I have amnesia. Letho has suggested he knows something about me. It's possible we met before.
There's an old Kaedweni saying, a bitch will never bite another bitch. 100% accurate where sorceresses are concerned.
To the matter at hand, sire.
De Tansaville claims this Letho is in the area. Is that true?
Yes.
What does he want here? My head?
He's hiding from Yorvith and his Scoia'tael. I don't know his plans.
And you aim to get him?
I do.
Last question. Do you know who had Foltest and Demavend assassinated? Who's behind the Kingslayers?
I don't know, but I'll find out when I find Letho.
My spies have confirmed your words. I suppose I must believe you. Now to the other matter. The mist, the wraiths, all that magic shit holding up my campaign. My mages, as usual, have proved useless. They blather on about higher magic, delayed curses, and other hogwash, but nothing comes of it. This matter must be settled with a sword. A witcher's sword. Will you manage this task?
Yeah, I'll manage.
Excellent. Lift the curse, and you'll learn the meaning of royal generosity. And even should you fail to catch this Letho, I shall help you clear your name. Consider Deathmold at your disposal. He'll give you all the necessary information. Also, you are free to move about the camp and its environs from now on. Now, leave me alone.
We're not quite done yet. We can actually get a lot more information from him, so let's try to ask about who cast the curse.
As we forged our way through the fog, you claimed it was Glevisig's curse.
Sabrina Glevisig. She was a sorceress, my former advisor. I ordered her bound to a wagon wheel and burned alive. While dying, she cursed me and my lineage. That was 3 years ago.
Okay.
Sire, do you remember the curse itself? What exactly did Sabrina say?
All she said at the time has been fulfilled to some degree. A star adorned with a bloody braid will cut across the heavens. Square coins from maritime depths will beguile the hearts of fools.
Coins?
Deathmold found a few such coins among soldiers accused of treason.
What did you condemn Sabrina for, sire?
Is that important?
Sire, we're not talking about a fortune told in a tent on market day, nor about some curse cast by a novice mage. This curse caused a solar eclipse and summoned hordes of specters. We're dealing with a complex spell that operates at several levels. Uncommon knowledge and skill were required to cast it. Lifting it will be even more difficult. If I'm going to deal with it, I need you to cooperate.
Ah, the plague. So be it.
They can ask the same question again, and he'll give you a true answer this time.
What did you condemn Sabrina for, sire?
1 year after the Peace of Sintra, I fought Demerven for Lormark. General Vandergrift commanded a part of my force. He forded the Pontar and joined battle on this field. It raged until evening, when Sabrina Glevissig decided to take matters into her own hands. Fireballs rained down onto the battlefield. 3,000 men turned to bloody charred meat scraps. The fire consumed Kaedwenis and Adernians alike. Knights boiled alive in their armor. Mad beasts howling with pain. War is for the honorable. When the likes of Glevissig enter the fray, it turns into hell.
Very dramatic. But let's ask why she actually attacked her side.
What drove Sabrina to attack her own army? Any specific reason?
I've heard none, not even speculation. She was my advisor, a member of the Council of Mages. For years I was forced to tolerate her excesses, schemes, court scandals.
Was she loyal?
Ha! Only to herself.
The curse was cast 3 years ago. Any sign it's been active in the interim?
My son was killed during a hunt.
Anything strange or unnatural occur at the time?
A rabid boar ripped open his femoral artery. I witnessed it. An accident, nothing more.
The curse was activated today. I need to know why.
As we negotiated, a fight broke out. I killed a priest of Creve. Perhaps that.
Maybe.
You know, that's it from him. So we've leveled up, but we can take care of that later on. For now, there's something else we need to handle first.
Witcher, a word, if you will.
So we can talk to Deathmold, though I guess we already spent a lot of time talking to people. Still, he's a pretty funny character, so let's talk to him. He's fairly important.
You have no idea how delighted I am to work in tandem with you.
True, I have no idea.
Better times approach, Geralt, you shall see. I trust you're not bothered if I refer to you by name.
Not at all.
Wonderful, I feel we shall become great friends.
This is kind of awkward, isn't it? It's like Geralt has his own little fanboy. Let's go with something a little more coy.
That remains to be seen.
Shake my hand, Geralt, to mark the beginning of our friendship. Don't worry, I've no poison needle up my sleeve.
Yeah, no. No, that's way too creepy.
I'm not looking for new friends, Deathmold. Let's get to work.
I see. As you seem to be the hero, how might I help you, White Wolf?
Alright, so we got a bunch of questions we can ask about the Spectre and curses, and he'll give us a lot of information. And it's going to be pretty useful for the main mission of this chapter.
Did you notice that not all the specters were aggressive?
Most would disappear when we neared them.
I think the curse's power corrupts the ghosts of those who died in the battle, turning them into Draugrs.
Draugrs, is that some professional name you witches have for specters?
They're demons, Deathmold. Draugrs are demons of war that arise on battlefields where the fighting was vicious and the slaughter particularly bloody. They are hatred and bloodlust in condensed form.
The name matters little. Do you know how to rid us of these Draugrs?
A silver sword's enough to send them to their rest. But as long as the curse remains active, new ones will appear. The soldiers' ghosts are the key. If we could reverse the tide of the battle...
Don't delay. Grab your sword and start reversing.
I'll need some symbols of war that belonged to the soldiers who perished here. Artifacts symbolizing hatred, death, courage, and faith. They have to be magically active and linked to those who died. Without them, I won't be able to summon the ghosts.
Well, I've no idea how to find them, apart from which I know little about war symbolism.
I'll deal with the artifacts. I have another job for you. Have you dealt with curses before?
I've cast a few in my time. One victim sprouted donkey's ears and a tail, another's house burned down. Nothing too serious.
Shame. Have you removed curses, lifted spells?
Never had the chance. But I mastered the theory involved. Best in my class at the Magic Academy.
They don't teach you about curses like this one at Banard.
Glevis's Curse is a 4th level blood spell. It's also known as the Archmistress's Curse. A misnomer, for they've been cast by generally crazed mages or priests, not necessarily women.
You've done your homework.
So, as you can tell, Deathmold is really prideful and a bit of a bookworm, which can get him into trouble sometimes.
Explain this blood curse to me.
An ordinary blood curse is a trivial thing. You let a little of your own blood, best done at midnight surrounded by lit candles.
Sabrina had a whole pyre around her. Tell me about Glevisig's curse.
Read about it for yourself. I've all the necessary literature. In fact, you only need the Great Encyclopedia of Curses, Spells, and Prophecies, and a volume compiled by Tesside of Ries and Margarita Loantil, Masters of Magic on Curses Selected Writings.
Yeah, I don't have time to do that.
I'm not going to waste my time reading. Tell me the important bits.
No need to be ashamed, Geralt. In these times, few get the opportunity to learn the arts of reading and writing. Illiteracy is...
I can read,
Jackass.
Mage. Time's a-wasting. Are you gonna start helping me?
The effects and phenomena generated by a 4th level blood curse require an immense amount of the power. The eclipse, the death of a dynasty, the battle of specters. No sorcerer, no living being can summon such levels of energy. It's quite simply impossible.
But some clever mages discovered how to make possible the impossible. Since then, the world has lived in fear of your curses. Genius. What did you discover?
A prophecy that initiates a blood curse is simply a spell that binds the power. It should be cast at a site possessing the appropriate accumulation characteristics. A battlefield is perfect. Blood-soaked ground, defined boundaries, a symbolic dimension. When the caster utters the words of the prophecy, the curse begins to accumulate the power. For the last 3 years, day after day, month after month, the initiating curse has been gathering the power, drawing it from the elements of fire, earth, air, and water. The energy thus accumulated could move the stars. Enter the activator, one of the prophesied events possessing its own symbolic dimension. It releases the accumulated energy for use by the curse proper. Ordinarily, the curse cannot utilize all the built-up power, which must be released in some way, so one gets side effects, like solar eclipses.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky that the solar eclipse is a side effect. Because honestly, if that was a main effect, that'd be kind of a big deal. Just blot out the sun for a whole year in an area, and I'm pretty sure they'll be pretty fucked.
Are you sure Sabrina cast the curse?
Positively. Curses of this kind are cast rarely. There have only been 6 confirmed cases.
How many confirmed cases of their being lifted?
1. By a team of mages led by Archmistress Francesca Finderbear, whence came the curse's other appellation. In any case, Sabrina Glevissig was part of that team.
Small world, and one that just got a little uglier.
That's not all. The curse that Francesca and Sabrina dealt with was meant to end the lives of the last of the Tyson dynasty, the rulers of Kovir. It was cast by Scarlet Rodalega, a very talented but completely mad man. A prophecy and an activator were also involved.
I see. Sabrina just stole her curse from this Rodalega.
Precisely. Beside which the king himself and a company of armed men witnessed her casting it.
Okay. So let's ask about why Hensel's still alive. That seems pretty important if he really got cursed by this huge, big thing.
Why is Henselt still breathing? He killed the priest. Why didn't he burst like a ripe tomato under a dwarf's heel?
Perhaps Glevissig wishes Henselt to wait for imminent death.
I don't think so. I know a few sorceresses. They're mean, true, but they also want results. Sabrina cast the curse while roasting at the stake. Not the most comfortable circumstances. I suspect she botched something.
Are you suggesting Henselt may be safe?
I'm suggesting he could be saved, provided we cut him off from the heart of the curse, the Battle of Specters. It's the weakest link.
How could we do that?
I don't know yet, but I suspect I could summon Sabrina's ghost and force her to free Henselt. First, I need to learn the circumstances of her death.
Alright. Let's talk about the blood curse a little more.
If I'm not mistaken, you need blood to cast a blood curse.
Precisely, unachievable otherwise.
Sabrina was bound to a wagon wheel. Where did she get enough blood?
She put a spell on a soldier who gave her a coup de grace. It was easy. The minds of some soldiers are so uncomplicated. Sabrina needed one of them to strike her, shorten her suffering, but complete the curse. However, this is where she erred. That whore performed miracles, gathered the power, got the prophecy and activator right, but fell flat on her face on the simplest thing at the end.
Don't get so excited.
She chose a fool, a bungler. I heard he thrust 5 times with his spear, yet the witch's soul would not quit her corpse.
There was no one guarding the pyre?
It was one of the guards the sorceress chose for the task. His comrades were irate. He spoiled the show for them. The king was no longer anywhere near.
In any case, blood flowed and the curse took root.
Yes, but the harlot got her due.
You know, they make a big deal out of sorceresses being petty and mean, but I think it's just magic in general. I mean, look at Deathmold. He's definitely petty and mean. Anyway, let's ask about the coins, which are also part of the prophecy, and important.
We've got our comet and murder. What about the coins?
We have those as well. Not enough for you?
No. Why do I get the feeling I've stumbled on some shameful secret?
A state secret.
If you don't tell me, your head of state may soon lose his head.
There's a plot afoot within the military. Those involved share a symbol, a square coin adorned with a fish. Let's do this. I shall in no way hinder your investigation, and you will reveal to me anything you learn. Should I happen upon anything related to the curse?
You'll let me know. So be it.
Okay, so let's get to work.
You're gonna help me, Death Mold.
Of course, as the king ordered.
Listen up. You'll do the paperwork. I get the feeling you like it. I'll need a number of protective runes to summon Sabrina's ghost. They need to detain the sorceress's ghost and anything else that enters this world with it. Find something for me in your library. The runes need to be easy to produce. I haven't seen any artists around here. Apart from that, the Draugrs are likely to begin their forays in search of Henselt. When they leave the battlefield, they'll grow weaker. Your men should be able to handle them. Just equip them with silver-plated weapons. Henselt could also use something silver to defend himself. Over the entrance to his tent, hang a wreath of cinquefoil and fool's parsley. Inside, a fire fueled by juniper branches must burn at all times.
Where will I get so much silver?
Melt down your collection of pots for all I care. Just get it.
Those aren't pots, they're silver vases of Nazaya.
Last of all, give Henselt an instructional talk. Explain that I'll need him.
And what will you be doing? Drinking ale and fondling the camp women?
There's that, yes. Though I'll also prepare to summon Sabrina's ghost and figure out what I need to send the fighting specters back to the afterlife. I'll drop by and give you more work as I learn about this curse.
How did you divine that you might recover your memory by lifting the curse?
Huh. Kind of weird that he knows that, isn't it?
I don't like people poking around in my life.
Learning about others is my job. I must know the secrets of all who wish to approach the king. I've no problem admitting I like the work.
My past has nothing to do with Henselt.
You don't know that. Do you know why I have no friends, Witcher? Because sooner or later I learn all their secrets, which is followed by interrogations, torture, executions.
Just leave my past alone.
Well, that was delightful. Now remember at the very start, he actually offered to become your friend and all that crap, so yeah, that's kind of creepy. And that last bit, he might as well have been trying to say that I'm trying to learn your past, maybe interrogate you and get you executed. Also, it's really weird how obsessed with the power he is. I bet if he got drunk, he'd be running around camp naked with a loincloth, yelling, "I have the power!" Something along those lines. Anyway, let's talk to these guards that are holding this elf here.
What do you want?
Can I talk to him?
No chance. I don't know you.
How might we get to know each other?
Trust needs to be earned, mate. You best go, now.
Okay. So, I really want to talk to the elf, but we have to convince these guards that we are trustworthy first. So we'll do a few tasks around the camp. Oh, also, probably should do the level up stuff, shouldn't I? We actually have 3 points, just because we leveled up quite a lot in the beginning missions, but we just didn't get a chance to actually use them yet. So one of the most important things we wanted to do was get a point into Sense of Magic. This unlocks the Heliotrope sign. It's a special sign that uses up adrenaline. We also have 2 more points, so what should we put it into? Well, we could put a point into Control over the Power. Gives us increased resistance by 20%, which is really cool, increased sign damage, and increased adrenaline generation through signs. All very important things. As for the last point, we might put it into Control over the Powers level 2, because it gets us increased adrenaline generation, as well as plus 7 more sign damage, and plus 10% more resistance. It's pretty nice. After this, I'll probably start working on the swordsmanship tree. Plus, I might put a point into dagger throwing just because it's useful, and I keep having all these daggers anyway. Anyway, so one of the things I want to show off before we go on our adventure about the coins and crap is talk to this guy over here. He's fairly funny, and he has a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah?
You're the quartermaster's assistant?
Yeah.
Great. I want to see the best equipment you have. I've got the coin. The army stands to gain, not lose by me.
I should think so. So?
He's kind of weird, isn't he? Talks very curtly. Anyway, let's ask him why he's so glum.
You sure you're the quartermaster's assistant?
Yeah?
I ask because assistants are usually pretty glib.
I'm glib.
No, you're not.
My gal left me.
How do you know?
She wrote me a letter. Oh, wait a minute. Damn it. She can't write. The bastards. Beavers, not friends. I'll show them as soon as I get home. Snot-nosed scribes, counting Marley all day. They get bored, look for diversions. I'll give them diversion. Many thanks. At first I thought, go away, Emo. But now I see you're a good fellow.
So will you help me?
I should think so. So?
This fucker's kind of weird, but let's trade with him. Because he has a bunch of really cool diagrams, and we'll probably upgrade our sword here. One of the things I was interested in getting is the Draugr armor. Now this is one of the things where I want to loot the Draugr body, but I'm still not sure how do you do that in the opening mission, because they're always in combat. You're pretty much under constant attack by Draugrs and Spectres, so you couldn't actually loot the bodies. Granted, you actually need 2 ingredients, one of which we won't get until much later on, so it's not like I could have gotten the armor right now anyway. However, what I really wanted to show off were these really cool, robust meteor swords. We have a robust blue one, which gives us +7 sign damage, which is really cool. We also have a robust red one, which gives us a +1% chance to instantly kill the target. And the robust yellow one gets us +2 adrenaline generation on hit. This of course is better for the swordsmanship. What I'm interested in right now though is the robust blue meteorite sword. It's really what we need to be really specialized in Igni. So we'll go with that. Now in terms of ingredients to make it, we're only missing 2 iron ore and 8 silver ore. Unfortunately, this guy only has 2 silver ore. However, there's a way to get around this. Basically, for every sort of merchant in the game, if you walk far enough, they'll eventually despawn, then when you walk back, they'll respawn and come back with new stock. Very useful if you need a few ingredients that are not available at the moment. While we're here though, you notice our weight is almost maxed out, mostly because we picked up a bunch of swords at Laurito's house, so let's sell all of that off. Plus, around the camp, every single sword rack you can find a bunch of new swords that you can come back and sell off again. Which is very convenient, because I could use the gold. Anyway, I'm going to come back to this guy later and give him more silver ore, because I really want to upgrade our silver sword. Our current one only does 17 to 25, the new one will do 29 to 33, which is much better, plus has 2 upgrade slots. But that's pretty much it for this episode. I know this is slightly shorter than normal, but I'm trying to increase my output rate. So before the end of this week, I hope to put out another episode. Hopefully we can get some good momentum rolling. Anyway, next episode we'll be dealing with the tragic tale of Maverick, also known as the Crapper. But until then, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.